Welcome to Anime Out of Context, a comedy review show where a man completely immersed in anime culture torments his co-host, who is only allowed to watch the shows featured here. If you'd like to support the show, you can do so at patreon.com/animeoutofcontext. Alongside over 100 hours of exclusive bonus material, all episodes uploaded to Patreon are completely ad-free, even to non-patrons. Thank you for listening, and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Anime Out of Context, the show where I attempt to explain the sometimes weird, sometimes wonderful, but always hilarious world of anime.
And I would still love you even if you were RFK's brainworms.
The funny part is I don't think you would.
No, probably not.
Yeah, no. I'm Shaun Rollins.
I'm Remington Chase.
Remington! It is fucking hot out.
Yes, accurate.
Yes.
It's one of the cooler times right now at a nice cool 88.
Yeah. Doesn't do great things for the old physical, mental, social health, you know?
Yeah. When existence wants you to just melt and die.
Yeah. But hey, Rem, that's okay, because we can live vicariously through other people going outside.
Oh, okay, yeah, awesome.
And one of the ways we can do that is through anime. And Rem, you know...
Yeah, going outside in anime, the greatest combo.
They do it all the time in anime.
You watch... I guess that's the thing. Weebs watch the characters go outside so that they don't have to.
Yeah. And,
that's what outside is like.
And the other thing that they do a lot in anime is exercise, yeah?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. And we've long discussed sports anime, Rem. And,
okay. Oh, fuck.
And the thing about sports anime is they make everything a sports anime these days. And, but I will say this one actually kind of makes some sense.
Yeah?
Yeah. And it's a world that you and I have never really participated in.
All right, let's hear it.
Tell me, Rem, have you ever joined a massive bike race before?
Can't say I have, Shaun.
No, you haven't ridden on one of those really thin bikes with the handlebars that go all the way forward?
No, not my style.
Yeah, I always get worried I'm gonna fall off when I ride one of those.
Shaun, don't worry, we fell off long ago.
We have. But that's besides the point. Because, Remington, the anime we're going to be talking about is simply titled Yowamushi Pedal.
Okay, cool.
And hey, man, we're keeping it simple. We're keeping it straightforward. This is an anime about competitive bike racing.
Okay. I don't love its odds.
Well, you're not a sports guy in general is the thing, Rem.
Yes, correct.
But this is a very beloved sports anime. And it's a team sport that doesn't involve, magical ball powers.
Does it involve magical bike powers? Or if it involves Lance Armstrong, it may still involve magical ball powers.
Well, not anymore. Not anymore.
Okay.
Like,
How do you think he lost it, all right?
I'm pretty sure he did, didn't he?
Yeah, he pulled like a Deku, but with his nut.
Focus too much power into it and just...
You focus too much power into one nut, and there it goes. You used it. Congratulations. Hope it was worth it.
I tried doing the popping mouth thing, but it's a little hard when you have too much facial hair.
Look, fellas, if you have both your nuts, that just means you aren't using them to their full capacity, all right?
Seriously though, guys, be sure to check yourself regularly. Testicular cancer is no joke. Though it is probably the funnier of the cancers.
It's true.
Yeah.
If you got cancer, would you prefer a funnier cancer? Or would that make it worse?
God, people make enough fun of me as is.
Yeah, people would make more fun of you and wouldn't take it as seriously, kind of inherently.
Right.
But it would add levity to the whole thing. So
yeah, I think I'd rather just do a Hank Green and get one of the easier cancers that is easier to get rid of, and then make a comedy special out of it. Which, by the way, I don't know if you watched it yet. It's pretty great, pretty good, pretty funny. Hank Green is great. Love that guy. But testicular cancer aside, my guy, Yowamushi Pedal. It's pretty straightforward. It is a standard sports anime formula. You've got your plucky main character who, your main character in a sports anime always has one aspect about them that lends them a bit of an extra edge in one aspect of the sport, right?
Sure.
Sometimes they range from simple things all the way to stupid, absurd superpowers, like in Kuroko no Basket, if you recall.
Yeah, so what end of the spectrum are we on here?
I would err on the side of more realistic.
He just pedals good.
Well, so it's about our main character, Sakamichi Onoda.
Yeah.
And Onoda he's a little guy, right? And he wants to, look, when he started high school, he really wanted to make some friends by joining the anime club.
God damn it. All right, so he's not a sympathetic protagonist.
Hey.
Pardon?
I mean, okay, listen here, bud. I also wanted to join my high school anime club. It was junior high school when I wanted to join because I wanted to make friends. Is that so wrong? Is that so wrong to want to make friends with people with similar interests?
Morally, no. Socially, yes.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, I'm not saying I did great in junior high. Look, man. Before I figured out the theater kid thing, I didn't have much going for me.
It's a real rough world out there when theater kid is your upgrade. When you're like, I'm moving up in the world, I'm a theater kid now.
Yeah, look, going from dirt to a polished stone is a little bit better, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he's a pretty happy-go-lucky guy. Wants to join the anime club to make some friends, but unfortunately, it's been disbanded because not enough people joined it. So he wants to start things up by trying to get it started back up himself. But you know how things go. Not many people want to join an anime club for, I feel like, obvious reasons. But hey, life's not all lost. He runs into an individual on one of his bike trips because what he does in his spare time, since he doesn't have friends, is he bikes all the way to Akihabara.
Oh man, that's crazy, probably.
Which is a weekly 90-kilometer ride.
Woo!
Which he does once a week, and has been since 4th grade.
Jesus Christ.
Yep, on his bulky, normal, local street bike. Those really big, heavy guys that, have a basket on them.
Yeah.
And on this trip, he meets another first-year student that goes to the same school, Shunsuke Imaizumi, and who is very much a determined cyclist who's going to the school to join the cycling club and to ultimately be the best cyclist there is. The determined sports kid type. And he is quite surprised when he sees Onodera biking to school quite easily, because this school is at the top of a very stupidly steep hill. And if you've ever tried to ride a bicycle uphill, it's not fun. It's not fun. There's a reason I don't do it anymore. Also, because I don't have a bike.
That'll do it.
That part does make it a little bit tricky. But man, back in the day, there was a big hill by my dad's place. I didn't like riding up it. Even less so, I didn't like biking to school and then biking back. That was worse. That was worse.
Yeah, for sure.
But Imaizumi is super surprised by how handily this guy is handling it. And being the competitive guy that he is, challenges him to a race. And essentially, after this interaction, he gets introduced to the world of bike racing. They eventually join the club, and it is a story of him and his newfound biking team members attempting to win the big inter-school tournament.
I'm gonna level with you, Shaun.
Yeah.
I don't like this show's odds. I'm gonna keep an open mind. It's not given a great first impression is all I'm saying. All right?
Because it's a sports anime and because it features an otaku protagonist?
Otaku protagonist, sports anime, bicycling. Wait,
what's wrong with bicycling?
Look, man, the most intense thing to ever happen during cycling was when there was that viral video of Gordon Ramsay a month back where he had fucked himself up. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah. And
where he's like, oh, I took a spill, make sure you wear your helmet. And he's like a little bit shaken, but he looks pretty fine. And then he lifts up his shirt, and he is the most purple man to ever live.
Yeah, I'll start worried he's gonna start stuffing kids into suits.
Yeah, so that's like, unless we see Gordon Ramsay, I don't love the odds. So fingers crossed.
I mean, there's one of the guys scowls like Gordon Ramsay.
We'll see if that's enough.
Yeah, look, man, it's been a hot minute since we've done a sports anime, so we gotta do it. And this one is a highly requested one.
Why?
Well, they like the boys on the bicycles. What's wrong with that?
All right, I hope I come away with a different opinion than the one I think I'm gonna have. Because right now, the opinion I think I'm going to have is that I'm going to show up in part 2, and I'm going to say the same critiques I always have about bad sports anime, and just rehash that. And I don't want to do that. I don't like repeating myself. I want to say new shit, cool shit, interesting shit. So that's what I'm hoping for. Fingers fucking crossed.
Look, man, it's been a long-ass time since we did a sports anime, so it was time. It was time. And it's a highly rated one, so here's hoping, Rem. So I think without further ado, let's go straight into it. Let's go watch some Yowamushi Pedal. And we are back after watching 4 whole episodes of the fall 2013 anime Yowamushi Pedal. And Remington, do you feel like you're ready to ride a bicycle? Have you been thoroughly motivated to hop on your old two-wheeler and go down the street?
Oh, truly, Shaun.
Weirdly, I have a hard time picturing you on a bicycle. Is that weird to say?
You know me, unable to ride a bike. I'm a tricycle guy. Always have been, always will be. Just riding around the Overlook Hotel, on my big wheel.
Oh, God. Yeah, I don't know. I've just never pictured you on a bicycle before, and for some reason that's a strange thought.
This show, it does something interesting, Shaun.
What's that, Rem?
It pulls a little bit of a magic trick, right?
Uh-oh.
Because, why, what's wrong? Wait, fuck you, what's wrong with magic?
There's nothing wrong with magic, but when you specifically, Remington, of the hit podcast Anime Out of Context, bring up magic tricks, usually it's a setup for a very brutal punchline.
What, just because it's usually me concluding that the show is lying to you in some way? I mean, that's not always the case, but it is the case here.
Oh, I see.
You see, Yowamushi Pedal, it wants to give the impression that it's an action-packed sports anime, right? I mean, it's all about riding bikes, and most of the scenes that we have seen, they're riding their bikes throughout the town, right? All sorts of action and variety of scenery. Here's the thing. The vast majority of this show is 2 characters just talking in a room, but then replace the room with like just vaguely shifting sky or buildings. And that's about it. And it's like, oh no, yeah, look at them racing and moving and going so fast. And it's like, no, you can tell that there's so much movement and dynamism because the repetitious background, you see. And it has this particular shot, all right? There's this very specific shot of, as they're riding a bike, of a close-up of their face. A close-up of their face as they're talking and showing basically nothing in the background. And it's such an obvious, like, budget-saving maneuver that once you see it, the show's pretty fucked at that point. And unfortunately, I noticed that early. And so every single time it happens, I was so aware of what was going on. It's just the Flintstones principle, Shaun. Where it's just, all right, let's repeat the same background every second or two, but it's even lazier. And it's not that ruins the show, but it does make it a different kind of show, because it makes it much less of an action-packed sporty anime than it may at first appear, when the vast majority of the movement actually isn't really.
I will say in the show's defense, in the first 4 episodes we watched, they haven't gotten to like any of their tournaments or any actual races, so the action is definitely a little bit on the one note side in comparison.
But it just still, like, there are ways to communicate. They've gone through cities, through the neighborhood of the school, through a little bit more like park, foresty areas, right? Like there's some variety in setting. You just wouldn't know it because of the shots they use. It's the lowest budget shots I have seen in a long time. And we recently covered fucking Card Fight. So, and, you know, in a lot of ways, take whatever your favorite sports anime is. This is kind of the Card Fight of the sports anime world. But what like that can be okay. It's like I said. Okay, so it's not as action-packed as it may have you believe. It's more or less just 2 characters talking to each other for prolonged periods of time without very interesting backgrounds. Just 2 people talking in a room. That can still be good if you have strong characters, strong dialogue, strong relationships, right? All of these ingredients. You may see what's coming next.
I see. Yeah, this seems like a very traditional setup to break all the fans of this show's heart.
Let's meet the characters, shall we? So we have our protagonist, right? Our weeb extraordinaire. And boy, oh boy, somehow you undersold how weeby this guy is. How much of a fucking nerd.
Considering he's Japanese, he's just pure otaku, not rather than weeb, but you know.
Sure. Nonetheless, somehow you undersold it. That's his whole life. It is all he ever wants. It's his only driving force. Even anything related to bike riding, it's like, okay, that's neat. And it's only comes through my love of anime and manga. It's it's like a weird reverse Slumdog Millionaire, but instead of it being like, oh, I learned the answers through my very specific life experiences. It's like, yes, I have honed the perfect bike riding skills through all of the things I've done in search of anime and manga. You know, all right, sure. I think our protagonist kind of bland, but also vaguely charming at times in their awkward, cringy step. We'll give him a pass. We'll give them the most tentative thumbs up around.
So that's sensitive, you can't name his name.
It's somewhere in my notes. Onoda?
Onoda, yeah.
Onoda. And then, secondary main character, that's Sasuke. Right?
No. Rem, his name is Shunsuke.
Oh, I'm sorry, Shunsuke. So Sasuke is, everything you would expect Sasuke to be. Bike riding is his life, and it's the most important thing for him, and he's a bit of an edgelord. And he wants to be challenged, but he wants to be the best, blah, blah. Look, you've seen this before. You know the Sasuke. We also, later on, we meet, Naruto. and Naruto...
No, his name is Naruko. You gotta...
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
Yeah, no. Look, you gotta be accurate with these names, otherwise people are gonna get confused, right? They're gonna Shunsuke and
Naruko.
Yep.
Like, and you guys, are you starting to feel? You guys starting to feel what I'm putting down yet, or are you starting to feel like maybe this show isn't bringing the plethora of originality, high quality, rigorous effort into it? The one thing this show does have going for it, all right, is it is clear that it comes from a passion about biking and about cycling and about just bikes in general, right? Mm. There's the most important girl. She is really passionate about bikes, right? Because they were like, oh shit, how do we get a token woman in the cast? Obviously, we can't have them ride bikes. So we'll have them be the mechanic. Cool. And and they talk about a lot of the logistics of it all. That's basically like, look, if you're looking for good characters or a good story or a pretty show or real, if you're looking for any of that, get the fuck out of here. But if you like bikes, boy, do I have the anime for you. Because the show, it knows what it's talking about. It's passion. It's a passion project. It is passionate about bikes, and it wanted to tell a story about bikes. It didn't know what that story was. It mostly just was like something bikes. I want to talk about bikes. And it was like, okay, what do we do with it? And they were like, I don't know. You can race bikes. You can make bikes. Bike shit. And they were like, we're going to need a little bit more. And they were like, bikes. And hey, I love seeing that passion. It's the enthusiasm, boy, oh boy. I wish I could say it was infectious. But at the end of the day, it is just bikes.
Well, I will say in the show's defense, like, as it gets on and into more seasons, it does start to be more about your typical sports anime thing of biking passions and wanting to be the best and the bonds between, your friends while you do the same activity. But yeah, that's not exactly super on display in the first 4 episodes.
Yeah, thus far, all they care about is bikes. There's one horribly on the nose line when we meet Naruto, right?
Naruto, yeah.
You may be wondering, what's his character all about? Fortunately, he blatantly tells us there's a line of dialogue from him that goes, I care about my friends and I care about bikes. And so that's his whole thing. That's he outright says, and you might think, oh, okay, that's, there's not many situations where you naturally give a sort of all-encompassing mission statement describing yourself in like one sentence kind of deal. Was it naturally delivered or in a setting that makes sense? Not really.
So are you telling me this is why my dates don't go well?
Yeah, if you show up and you're like, hey, here's what you need to know about me, and then you just have a one sentence zinger that encapsulates 100% of your personality, like, that's not going to be a very eventful date, because it's like, oh, let's get to know each other. Here's the sentence you need to know about me. And they'll be like, oh, fascinating. Continue on. And you'll be like, no, I've told you. Now you tell me your sentence. And then I guess, hopefully we fuck. We both share our personality sentences and then we fuck.
God,
hopefully.
You know what it reminds me of? The god-awful Elijah Wood movie you showed me with Ska Guy in the beginning.
Ska Guy! Oh, I love Ska Guy.
He's the only thing I remember from that movie, but he is so prominent. Only ska.
Very much that energy.
Yep.
And speaking of, I will say, the show, it has occasional, an occasional jazzy soundtrack. Which, hey, I'm a sucker for some jazzy music, but I don't think it fits the show very well, right? It doesn't quite fit the atmosphere. Doesn't fit the emotions. Jazz, all right, Cowboy Bebop, yeah, oh yeah, you feel the jazz. It's right fucking there. If you want to get a little bit noir, something like An Odd Taxi, oh yeah, that jazz makes perfect sense, baby. This show, it's corny as hell.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And so, jazzy interludes don't really make sense. They don't. Everything is just bright, chipper, and awkwardly sincere. And then you got some jazz going on, and it's like, oh, okay.
I mean, it's just a bit of fun then, isn't it?
Sure. I'll give them another tentative thumbs up. I don't think it's the right music for the show, but it's nice. But most of what we see is Onoda getting brought into racing by Mechanic Girl and Sasuke, right? That's what most of the 4 episodes runtime is all about. and there's a big race between Sasuke and Onoda, and through the race, do they elongate this son of a bitch. Because it takes basically episode 2 and 3, but it's not eventful. Once again, they're not showing off the scenery or anything. They're just like, yeah, Sasuke is in front. Oh, but look, Onoda caught up to him. Oh, but Sasuke got ahead again. Oh, but look, Onoda caught up to him. Oh, no, but Sasuke, he got ahead again. Oh, but look, Onoda caught up to him. Genuinely, that just keeps happening.
Yeah, I mean,
and every time it's like, oh, what a surprise! Look at the effort and the skill Onoda surprisingly has. It's like, yeah, no, I got that the first time. I don't know if the other two were instances of this repeating itself were necessary. Like, I understood what you were going for very quickly, and then you kept doing it.
Yeah, it's a little hard to have dynamic sporting encounters in a race when there's only 2 participants.
Sure. But at the very least you can do that's when you bring like the environment into it, right? Which the closest they did was like, it's a big fucking hill, a crazy fucking hill, which only mattered for like 2 minutes when they entered the hill. And then it felt like they just forgot about the hill. Like they build it up. Holy shit. This is the hill to end all hills, right? This is the hill to end all hills. And then it's kind of not a huge factor. They bring it up and they're like, oh man, this is tough. It's crazy that Onoda can do it. And then it just shifts back to being a normal race again. It's like, okay. I thought there might have been a little bit more to it than a momentary struggle, but there's another issue of with a lot of other sports, right? You can have tactics, you can have you can be like, all right, this isn't working, let's change our plan of attack, right? Let's change our strategy. From what we've seen thus far in the show, the changing of strategy is mostly just, I will pedal faster and harder. Oh shit, he got ahead of me again. I will pedal faster and harder. I guess I have to push it and go a little faster. Like, they they try vaguely to shush it up, but that's all it amounts to. Like, that's it. And given it's already feeling repetitive, that's not a great sign. If by episode 4, I'm like, oh, okay, feels like you're repeating yourself a lot and stretching things out. It blows my mind that there are multiple seasons of this show.
As somebody who's watched a lot of sports anime, it doesn't blow my mind that much. Look, I watched the whole first season of this, which is about 34 episodes.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, oh no, excuse me, let me correct myself. 38 episodes.
Holy shit.
Yeah, once when it originally came out, back in 2013. And recently, obviously, to prep for the show. And I'll say, it makes sense why the show got a lot of chutzpah going for it. Because there's a lot of passion in this project and a lot of bike racing.
There is a lot of passion, but none of that passion is towards the story or the characters.
It is later on. Like, again, there's not much I can say about the 4 episodes I showed you. Like, if I really wanted to get into, like, character motivations and such, we would have had to go through the first, like, miniature proper race between multiple people in it. And by multiple people, I mean our 3 main characters plus some extras. That
but the 3 main characters, they've given their shtick. Like they've all been like, hey, this is the neat little box I fit into, and that's my thing.
And also like the upperclassmen characters as well. Like there's some stuff there, but having you watch 10 full episodes of this anime seemed a bit excessive. So I opted for the first 4 episodes just to give you a rough idea of how this show started out. And because unfortunately there's not a way to give you an idea of where the show goes, because I'll tell you, there's some buck wild shit that happens later on that ventures into the realm of, I don't know if bikes can do that. Which, at the same time, they justify everything. I'm like, well, shit, man, maybe bikes can do that. I don't know. I haven't been on a bike in a hot minute. I'll have to try it. Like, once they start discussing, like, dancing, did you know that there's dancing with bikes, Ren?
Yeah. Good old pendulum dancing, they called it.
Yeah. And, turns out that's a pretty cool trick. Not easy to do. Really good for the racing, especially for, like, climbing and such. And let me tell you, they take it to anime extremes at times, and it's fun. I'll be honest, like, I didn't hate my time watching this show. Is it anything super profound or grand or fantastic? Probably not, but does it have some silly sports anime stuff that were a fun way to kill an afternoon with? Yeah, obviously.
At the same time, I'm like, I don't know, there's lots of just, like, real-life videos of people doing awesome bike riding shit, whether it be some BMX stuff or whether it be those guys who will go down just like a fucking dirt hill in a forest at ridiculous speeds, going on crazy turns, avoiding trees like a motherfucker. Like that shit is great and super cool. This is bland as hell, and it thus far it doesn't care about the environment, the story, the characters. It vaguely cares about bikes, and that's not enough for me. If you're going for a sports anime, choose a different one unless you really like bikes. Liking bikes is the only reason you would choose this one. And if that's the reason, awesome, cool, go for it. But otherwise, it's like, there's better options out there.
Is this the part where I tell you that one of our most passionate recommendations for this show, because we did get a handful of email recommendations for it, was from a very qualified cyclist. So...
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Obviously.
Yeah, and they called it a pretty standard sports story, but they really enjoyed it because of the in-depth coverage of team-based cycling, which, of course, we didn't get fully into, obviously, because like it is ultimately a team cycling race type of situation. And they loved that representation. I was like, yeah, you know what? I appreciate that representation as well for all those people who love bikes. So why not? Why not give it a go? I'm sorry that Remington hates bikes, guys. I'm sorry.
It's not that I hate bikes. It's that I'm not interested enough in bikes for me to give a shit about this show, and this show doesn't do a good job. Like last week with Card Fight, it's just not inspiring me to care about what it's proselytizing. Like I just, it's not selling me on the premise well enough.
I don't know. I wanted to ride a bike.
But it's the bike riding is so boring and static. Like, once again, it's not giving you the sense of speed or dexterity or maneuvering or exploration, because the vast majority of the time it's the blandest shots you've ever fucking seen, and that's just not compelling or interesting at all. Like, the whole thing that differentiates this from other sports anime is that you're traveling, you're moving, you have a sense of speed, all of these things. And so if you neuter those elements by being like, all right, we gotta, for budgetary constraints, let's mostly zoom in real close to their face and just show a cloud in the background moving. That's not giving me shit, dude. I know you can have a couple of those shots when that's your go-to. Come on, man. Come on. Give me some like top down, seeing them maneuver through the fucking city as they're biking through, right? Let me feel the speed. Let me feel the turns. Instead, it just does the same shots again and again with no sense of momentum. It's, oh God, it's rough. It's rough.
Well, you're gonna feel silly when you watch 20 more episodes of this show, and they do a lot of that.
Fuck you.
Because I watched 37.
That's too many. It's too many.
As somebody who's
Well, and here's the thing. Maybe they do it later. They had plenty of opportunities to do it in these 4 episodes. Like, there's no reason if they do it later. If it is the show that you are purporting it to be, Shaun, where it gives a shit about characters and it has a really cool action and good visuals and cinematography, all of these things, right? Then why the fuck doesn't it do any of that, even remotely? It's not like, oh, it kind of touches on it, but it really unlocks its potential later on. No, it's not giving an inkling of any of that in the first 4 episodes. And you might be like, well, they don't do a lot on the bikes. They do a lot on the bikes. Most of the 4 episodes that I've seen, they're doing shit on the bikes. There's a race, there's a little bit of a teamwork things, there's different environments, we're introduced to different characters. There's so many fucking opportunities for everything you're saying.
Well, it doesn't help that this was a TMS Entertainment anime from 2013. Not the greatest time period for a lot of anime, especially not for a studio that was around from the 40s, and also, hey, guess what? Also did Card Fight Vanguard. Whoops.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, no, there's a little bit of studio overlap there, my guy.
Yep.
Which is hilarious because the studio does have 1 or 2 banger shows. They're also the ones who did Banania.
They're one salvation.
And a couple other shows that did pretty well. Some shows that we covered that you just had straight up issues with, but what shows don't you have issues with? And
good ones.
I mean, man, do we have emails that heavily disagree with you on that front? But I think it's a fine little excursion. If you need something to watch and turn your brain off, good pick. And hey, if it convinces you to ride a bicycle, I'm all for it.
I don't know, man. Go watch. If you need some fitness inspiration, go watch horny fitness anime, whatever the fuck that was.
Horny fitness anime.
Whatever that was.
Fucking God, that was years ago we covered that one. What was it, Annie Torre or something like that?
I have no idea.
Yes. Annie Torre EX.
I was going to say I am impressed that you remembered, but I don't think impressed is the right word.
Look, man, I ain't proud of it either.
You constantly go back for a rewatch.
Absolutely not. No, that is not my yum. I'm gonna yuck that yum, in fact. No, if I'm gonna watch an inspirational fitness anime, it's probably gonna be How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift. That one's a little horny, but at least it's funny.
Yeah, overall, the show, it's bland, it's uninteresting. It has occasional decent things to it, but man, I think it really fucks up by feeling like it has a budget of $2.
Well, that was a TMS Entertainment one, so it probably only had $2 to work with.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
I think for a lot of people, they're just not going to notice, but it does feel like one of those things where when you notice what they're doing, you can't go back.
Unless you really like bikes.
Unless you really like bikes.
Okay, then. Any guesses on what the MAL score for Yowamushi Pedal is?
Fuck, I would have guessed so much lower, but you have concerned me. I think, oh god, it's frightening. It's frightening how high I'm going to guess, because of what you have said. I think it's going to be like, I still have to moderate it to some degree. 7.63.
And that's on the high end?
I wanted to rate it lower.
Okay, then in your heart of hearts, what would you rate this?
Fucking.
Like, we'll lock in 7.63 for your guess, but I just want to hear what your heart of hearts says. Make all those fans of the boys on bikes cry.
I don't know. It probably around like that 3 range, maybe up to 3.5 if I'm feeling particularly generous.
Extra harsh, I see.
It's not extra harsh. It's just look, 3. That is just a bad. All right, that's just your standard bad. Just like 7 is your pretty standard good. So it's pretty standard bad. It's got a few redeeming qualities, but also a lot of just awful, confusing, weird decisions. Yeah, it's around a 3.
Okay. Well, to the one person who sent us the very well thought out email, I appreciate you. Remington may not, but I do. And you know who you are if you sent us it. Like, there are not many of our audience members, I don't think, are frequent bike racers. And if they are, prove me wrong, please. But Remington, Yowamushi Pedal, as it came out in 2013, had 2 seasons and a couple movies.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, some of those movies were like shortened recap movies, I think, so they don't
really it's gonna be higher than what I guessed, and I'm gonna fucking hate it.
It had 117,000 ratings.
Why are people watching this?
Hey man, back then, our options were smaller, believe it or not. Though I will say there were much better anime in fall of 2013. Though you might not agree. But fall, just scrolling through fall of 2013 right now. Options were pretty limited, gotta be said. We got 2 okay sports anime. This is one of them. An adaptation of a visual novel that I adore that didn't do the adaptation very well. And then just so much other shit. So much shit. There's only one standout show, and if I mention it, you're going to be angry, so I'm not going to mention it. With 117,000 ratings, Yowamushi Pedal is sitting nice and pretty at 7.93.
Oh, fucking hell.
Just shy of 8. Yep.
Y'all have lost it. Come on now.
And most of the ratings are from people who watched all 38 episodes, so, you know.
It's
and most
is it because there's an otaku main character? Like, is it like, representation? Is like, I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to figure it out.
If that was all it took, every isekai would be the top of the line.
Do you see how popular isekais are?
Yeah, but they're not usually the top of the line, is the thing. Like, this is a stupid high rating, right? Looking
it's fucking with me a little.
Looking at this season, there was only 3 shows that pierced that are currently rated at 8 or higher. One of them is a sequel to a show that you hate with a divine passion, but also has some of the most passionate fans. Do you remember Kuroko no Basket? Remember that one?
Oh, fucking hell, yeah.
Yeah. The second season of that aired at the same time. So it was a season with a good handful of sports anime. The second season of Kuroko no Basket is at 8.21, which is the highest on that list, which is insane. Then a show called Magi, which is, like a fun little fantasy themed after Aladdin and such, and Alibaba, whatnot, which was fun. It was good entertainment. And then, of course, Kill la Kill is the other one in this season.
Okay, yeah.
So, like, those are the top 3 of that season, right?
I feel like Yowamushi Pedal, it should be in that, like, 7.2 to 7.3 range for the weebs. Like the weeb calibrated ranking.
Well, I can tell you that I would tell you that the sequel the sequel season was lower, but no, it is higher.
Yeah, I mean, of course it is. Only you have more diehard fans who end up watching the sequels, whereas people who didn't care drop off.
Oh, excuse me. The other one that breached the 8 barrier was another sports anime, but it was a baseball one, so, larger audience.
God damn.
Yep. But hey, that's just the way it goes sometimes, man. Maybe you're right about this show. Maybe you are. But a lot of people still enjoyed it, so, no harm, no foul. Especially because I don't know if there are fouls in bike racing. I don't know, maybe I have to watch the second season to find that. don't know if there's bike refs or not.
Well, I imagine it's at least frowned upon to take out a gun and shoot the opposition. I imagine.
Like that one wrestler in Japan whose gimmick is he just takes a gun out to try and win.
And then you can try a little, like, there's nothing in the rules that says my gun can't come out in the bike race. You can try the airbud defense with your Glock, but I don't know if that's gonna work. I don't know if that's gonna be accepted.
It might in America, but this is set in Japan, so we gotta take it with a grain of salt, right? Oh man. But with that, I guess the final question I need to ask you, Rem, is there any chance you'd want to watch any more Yowamushi Pedal?
No, of course not.
Oh, but Rem, we didn't get to extra long Smeagol on a bike.
What the fuck did you just say to me?
Extra long Smeagol on a bike. They're one of the main antagonists of the big bike race of this season. Is basically just super lanky Smeagol on a bike.
What the fuck? Yeah.
And he's very good at biking because he's got super long limbs and is crazy. Those are the two things. And he's an antagonist, so it's fun. It's a bit of fun.
Here's my notes for both for both Card Fight and Yowamushi Pedal, right?
All right.
They need to get crazier with it. All right. They need to actually do something with their bland as fuck premises.
Look, man.
Because, Smeagol on a bike, all right, that's cool. I want that fucker to be after the One Ring. I want a society that is centered completely around bike racing for no apparent reason. The show looks you in the eyes and it says, fuck you, this is just the way it is. They do the craziest shit, and the season finale is racing through a futuristic city that can have random terrain traps, and the winner gets to be the fucking president. All right? I want fucking chaos.
So you want the run for president to be a ride for president, as it were.
I just want flavor and stakes, and I want shows like this to make me feel something, Shaun.
Well, who knows, Rem? Who knows? Maybe if the Yowamushi fans out there are angry enough at us, we'll think about it and come back. But
I'm drowning in beige these past couple weeks. I'm suffocating.
Maybe that was my mistake. Maybe I just needed to make you watch enough so you could get to Smeagol on a bike.
I don't know if that would have saved it, honestly. I don't know if that would have been the thing to do it.
Well, hard to say. He has his seat up really high. That's how you know he's weird.
Oh, okay.
But with that, thank you all so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. If you enjoy Remington debating whether or not bikes should exist anymore, then please head on over to wherever you get your podcasts and leave us a review. They mean the world to us, and we do read every single one. And if that is still not enough for you, twitch.tv/anime out of context, where myself, Dylan, and Remington occasionally play video games very poorly, though I didn't really play much this week because brain stuff is bad. But that's okay. And if that is still not enough for you, patreon.com/anime out of context, where you gain access to all kinds of lovely bonus material, including the opportunity to be thanked live on the podcast. So, Rem, who are we thanking this week?
Well, as always, we would like to send our regards to all of our bland bitch protagonists, as well as our magical girls. But moving on, we get to our yandere waifus, who are duct taping us to a bicycle, sending it downhill. And on that list, we have pruning trees is in another world with my amazing topiary skill. Is topiary a utopia or a dystopia? Asks Misaka. Xanax, yandere Neko, Wolfire56, why Shaun? Where's our DBZ review, you ginger fuck? When are you guys doing another year in review anime wrap-up? The last one was in 2022. Wes Kane, welcome to Anime in Full and Complete Context, the show where watching Requiem for Spoon Man at 0.5 speed. Utah number 1, Unhinged Rex. Totally got about a... Fuck, it's fine. CNH, there once was a boy named Skipper who traded his soul for a wood chipper. One day broke down, he replied with a frown and said, The Susanator, the pocket big hole you need in your pocket. The flying spaghetti monster. The Danish Viking will conquer the world with Rhinoceros as my navigator. The capybara contemplates if starving to death is better than grocery store shopping. The Ascendance of a Bookworm light novel is a masterpiece. Turban, Super Zoo, Stacy's mom. Spoonman leaves a potato trail into a donkey trap to catch Shagoon. Shrek is love, Shrek is life. Shaun wants to give Spoonman a thank and yank. Shaun ruined my happy sugar life when he proudly declared his deep-rooted love for child soldiers and hatred for dogs. Shaun, how many times do I have to say you can't come there? That is the Spoonman's jar.
I hate everything.
They're designated jars, Shaun. Shaun can do these nuts. Seraphim the shark plushie. Sequoia Kai, that's what she said. Shaun, please show Rem helpful Fox Senko-san. Do it for the tail. Say hi to that guy's fiance, I think it's Haley. Ross Palmer, Rhiannon Williams. Rem's emergency plot supply. Boy, do we desperately need actual plot, not no innuendo plot, just actual fucking plot. Give me a fucking story. I'm dying here. Remington needs to rewatch Attack on Titan at 0.75 speed to pay for his sins. Remington is right. Rem uses the drums of liberation to free all weeps from bad anime. Rem hit rock bottom is still on top of Shaun. Rem doesn't completely hate my favorite shows. Regulatreon. Pro tips out of context. Shikanoko, Noko, 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 Koshitan Tan. Shikanoko, Noko, Noko, Koshitan, Tan. Shikanoko, Noko, Noko, Koshitan Tan. Professor Fox, Pogwell Musico, Onichichi 10 out of 10 Family Show, Nick, Necrodancer 1415, my favorite dinosaur is a Triceratops, Makeiki 7 Hierto, making fake mal count so I can rate Forest Fairy 5 10 out of 10, Macaroni Chisa, Lunky Stars, the King of Moe, Link Jokerl, Lenerd 98, Cassidy, Jergidius, Jax, Jam Hands. I'm the original guy that made you say cunt every week, the other guy's just a pretender. I will never get more Ace of the Diamond, now I cry. I graduate August 2nd, now time for a master's. I can't believe I made an account for this. Hey Remington, if you want to punch Shaun, have him watch both seasons of Super Lovers for 12 Days of Xmas. Here's a really short name to give you a brief break from reading the really long names. Haruhi Suzumiya, Glenn Michael Dolan, Ginger Weep, Fern the guy that finally changed his name, Farmer Weep's deer pun until Shikanoko Noko Noko Koshitan Tan, Baker's favorite icing is fondant. Fantide, Erica McCorkle, Dwayne The Rock Johnson in a deer suit, Domo, Derpixian worshipper, Danielle Riot, Daddy Rem tell me a bedtime story, Come Sweat and Tears, Cheese Monkey, Cat Girls are best girls, so give me them cute little paws, Rock Hard for Jew Dudes, I miss my wife Tails, Blake Star, Bento Kato, been a while since I've changed my name on here, but I got a third 4.0, can't believe it, I'm also changing my major from funeral. Batman couldn't hate fuck that information out of me, and every day that Raven comes to visit, Amazing Muffin, all hail Pui Pui Philosopher King. AJ Tunnels, Aisha Gucci, a moe piece of trash. 50 ways to Shikanoko, Noko Noko, Koshitan. And now we move on to the Boy Wizard tier. What are they getting this week, Shaun?
Well, Remington, you could have guessed it. Gonna get a famous biker.
Good old bikers.
As week in 4. The kind that pedal, not the kind that wear leather. Though I suppose, well, I mean, either way.
Leather's universal, baby.
It's true.
Week 4, asking for Darling in the Franks review.
I keep getting lists of biker gangs. That's not what I want. That's not what I want. Okay, here we go. Yeah, alright, here we go. Frank Bowden.
Waga nawa Megumin Aquazero wo Narawai Toshi Sakyo no Kageki no Mahu Bakuretsu Moho wo Ayatsuru Mono.
Thomas Stevens.
Vincent Calabrese.
Alfred Tipper.
Umbrasite.
Georgeois Aspiotis.
That Mouse Girl.
Edward Patel.
Tails W is spared from Kira Lachlan the Ninja.
Helene Dutrio.
Spoonman the Aristocrat. Aristocrat, not Aristocat, that's different.
Leon Flameng.
Sporadic Silver.
August von Goodrich.
Silent Secondary.
Bert Harris.
Scourge, best 20 bucks spent, LMAO.
Meltiades Latro. Sammy
K's beautifying enough doggos to upper Patreon membership.
Georgeois Coletis.
Roscott.
And if I'm butchering these names, I'm sorry, Europe. They're hard. They are hard. And this is a list of cyclists from the 1890s specifically, so...
Wait, from the 1890s?
Yeah. The
1890s?
Yeah, the Wikipedia page for list of cyclists by decade starts with 1880s and then 1890s is what I'm on right now.
Why not work backwards so it starts relevant?
Well, when are we ever really relevant, Rem?
Jesus Christ!
And the fact that there are famous cyclists from these eras fascinates me. So
my God. Okay, all right. Did you give one for Roscop?
If I didn't, they can have Aristides Constantidis. Yeah, I could probably get it if I took another couple shots at it, but I ain't gonna.
Remington will enjoy the slice of life golf anime. Ui Tanbo, says Rare Kumiko.
Charles Mile a Minute Murphy.
That's a good one right there.
That's a great fucking name.
Rem Oni-chan, what are you doing with that toothbrush? No, Rem Oni-chan, don't brush my teeth, moaned Shaun.
Dora Reinhardt.
Pan expert.
Major Taylor.
Oshan, yes, fuck me harder, daddy.
Frank E. Weaver.
Nyanya me nyanya, junyanya, dono nyarabe de nyaku nyanya han yadai nyanyaku nyarabete nyaganyagame.
It's funnier every time. And I'm sad to say, out of 1890s, but good news, we're on to the 1900s.
Jesus Christ.
Henry Cornett.
Nightshade Blade wants to gush over magical girls.
Thorvald Ellegard.
Nettie Rabavarin, see Shaun at Mal in Baden-Württemberg.
Marie Marvingit.
Monogatari is a fun story about chasing down the apparitions with a bit of romance and sometimes can get horrifically fucked.
Weirdly appropriate name, Ernest Payne.
Mike.
Renee Potier.
Miguel Deleon.
On to the 1910s. Sorry, I read the name and it made me laugh. Oscar Egg.
Happy Egg Fest. Here's a good one. I don't think you heard me. I said blimey.
God damn it. As a DM, that scene haunted my nightmares. Dimension 20 is great, by the way, guys. Check it out. Rudolph Oakey Lewis.
I could be the hero, but I choose to be the villain, so I stole this name too. You can't stop me now, cunts.
Fritz Skalwig.
I'm a regulation listener that used to listen to Face Jam, but now listen to 100% Eat.
Felipe Thies.
Crosskirk.
1920s. Alfredo Binda.
Crimson Reapers, just because of the sides.
Giovanni Brunero.
Carver 271.
Fernand Cantalube.
Bloodcell asks, can you imagine an imaginary menagerie manager managing an imaginary menagerie?
No. Maurice de Waeli.
Beethoven 1201.
Nicholas France.
Anime Mash of the Week, chilling in another world with yourself.
Seems lonely. Renee Hamel.
See, I felt like it sounded peaceful.
I don't know. You'd have to like yourself quite a bit, I think.
Well, you're chilling with yourself, right? It's not that you're like, stuck in isolation with just you and your own thoughts. Like, it's like, hey, just chilling with yourself, man. Like, it's implicit that you're vibing.
All right.
Animated Z.
Lucian Mitchard.
Allfather returns to his decade counting. Note by decade, I mean of the podcast in general.
Felix Sellier.
And now we go to the inappropriate Joey Wheeler tier, where Shaun Rollins will tell you what your cycling nickname is, because obviously every single high schooler has one. And I will tell you, as Joey Wheeler, how you got that nickname. We start with
to be fair,
Rowdy-O.
To be fair, Rem, if I was participating in a sport, I would love to have a cool related nickname to how good I am at that sport. How cool would that be?
You'd love to have one, but like, look, everybody wants a dope-ass nickname, but you don't get them. That's the unfortunate fact of life, all right?
Oh, God. Okay.
All right, Rowdy-O.
You get to be, the quick and the dead.
Because okay, all right, let's make it a little bit more kosher. You get a 20% speed boost in cemeteries. Remember, ladies, when Shaun only lasts 30 seconds, you should take it as a compliment.
Oh, man. Okay, you get the... I'm not sorry. You get to have the Crevice Conqueror.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, there you go. Have fun with that.
At one point, you had a threesome on a tandem bicycle during a race.
Oh, the logistics of that would be awful.
It's why it was impressive logistically, despicable morally. All right, it just abomination before God, man. But man, the planning and talent involved.
The balance alone, my Christ.
Last but not least, we got Latino started RBFS Resting Bitch Face Society. First member GTO, great teacher Ozzy-san.
I think that's Ozzy-san, but yeah.
Ozzy-san.
Yep.
It's OZI instead of OZY.
I see. Yeah, like they're trying to play off of like the anime great teacher Onizuka. You know, that's kind of what they're trying to do.
That's Ozzy right there.
All right. Your cycling nickname is gonna be fuck it. Let's go full anime for it. The Divine Parting.
You go so goddamn fast that people have to part like the Red Seas as you're coming through. Otherwise, you will obliterate those motherfuckers.
You have a JoJo style like evil presence when you're riding up behind them.
Yeah, they know. Thank you all for tuning in. If you want to reach out for a comment, question, feedback, or recommendation, you can tweet us at AnimeConPod on Twitter or send an email over onto animeoutofcontext@gmail.com.
Once again, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. We love and appreciate you very, very much. And as always, don't fuck your sister.
Do 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 do.